So I'm assuming that the call was supposed to be private, but nobody knew that Gunplay was recording.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do now is they're going to try to make the issue the fact that Gunplay recorded the conversation. Which, I mean, I feel like it's an ancillary detail, right? That he recorded the call, which was meant to be private. Let me let them land. Let me let them finish their point, then I'll dive in. You're bringing somebody into it. You don't know why they have a GoFundMe, right? You're just bringing up random things to try to win an argument, right? So now he has every right to respond however he feels necessary to protect what's his. Because now people are probably looking into the GoFundMe. They thinking, oh, Gunplay's broke. I don't know how to know his financial status. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ty with another episode of Contentious Conversations. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Today we're going to be discussing DJ Envy and the Gunplay situation once again. So if you haven't heard or seen this, well, come on in, have a seat. Charlamagne put DJ Envy on the phone with Gunplay because Gunplay had a problem with what DJ Envy had brought up during the Rick Ross beef. If you haven't seen that, go check that out as well. I covered that. But because of that, Gunplay felt a type of way about it because apparently the GoFundMe was for his daughter who was going through some sort of sickness. I'm setting up the backstory to kind of give you a context of what you're about to watch. Let's dive in and see where this conversation goes.
It's just for the mess, and my use is real.
Child, the ghetto.
This is the Rumor Report
So my use is real.
on The Breakfast Club.
Woo, honey, it's ghetto up in here. Okay, nice. I want to say I like the other intro better, but okay. So, Brother Envy,
Yes,
you are in the blogs this weekend, okay? So, Gunplay and Envy situation that escalated. Listeners, just to keep y'all updated, in case you missed it, during one of DJ Envy's rants to Rick Ross, he brought up Gunplay's name. There's audio for that. Refresh their minds.
Now, you talk about boss and all the boss moves you did. We reported a story 3 weeks ago about your guy. Your guy, Gunplay is my brother. He has the Mac in the back of the 7 Series, and that's my brother.
Going
We
too
reported
far.
a story that
If you heard that line in the back, that's Charlamagne saying literally, you're going too far. I've said this before myself. There's the point of no return. When you start saying things that you can't take back, it's hard to, because it feels like you're in the heat of the moment. Now you're saying things, but it's hard to take these things back once you've uttered them. And you don't know who's going to get hit with collateral damage on there. And you don't know who's going to feel some type of way about any of the comments that you're making. So I just, that's why I say tread lightly when you start doing stuff like this.
Gunplay, shout out to Gunplay, friend of the room. We reported a story that he had to, put a GoFundMe up because he was having some problems. If that's your brother, you take care of your brother.
Okay, cool. So Gunplay and his family felt the way about the statement. So Charlamagne got Envy and Gunplay on a call together. This is how that went.
Yo, Envy.
Play, what up, bro?
What's up, man? Why you talking crazy, man?
Talk crazy about who?
About me, my brother. What I had to do with anything, man? And my wife posting a GoFundMe, man. My baby was sick, man. She had a heart defect, my brother. Why has nothing to do with cars? Envy, for real. I'll slap this, right? For that. You know that, right?
Play, we ain't doing all that.
No. I want to be clear. I want to be clear here. I would slap this. to you about that, right?
And then we can fight, but that's not the reason I'm saying that.
So I'll be wrong if I'll be wrong to handle my business then, right?
But what's your business? I'm having a conversation with you. If you feel like I disrespected you, I'm talking to you like a man. I'm like, nah, I would never. And if you feel I did, I apologize. That wasn't my intention.
My wife is affected by that, my brother. That's
I apologize.
Thank you, my brother.
Clear it up, I will, because I have no problem.
So I'm assuming that the call was supposed to be private, but nobody knew that Gunplay was recording.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do now is they're going to try to make the issue the fact that Gunplay recorded the conversation, which, I mean, I feel like it's an ancillary detail, right? That he recorded the call, which was meant to be private. Let me let them land. Let me let them finish their point, then I'll dive in.
Is when you come at somebody like a man, you know, in my opinion, and you want to actually really have a conversation and move forward with something, or however you feeling to get it off your chest, you just don't record.
Well,
you don't
I agree
record.
with that.
This is the thing. Charlemagne called me last week Monday, and he had Gunplay on the line. It was like, yo, Gunplay want to talk to you. And at first I was like, nah, I'm not talking to anybody. Then I was like, you know what? Gunplay's a friend to the room. He's somebody that we know, and if he has a problem with something, let me take the call, because that's what men do.
Absolutely.
And he was saying that I talked about his wife and his daughter.
He did not. DJ Envy did not say anything about Gunplay's wife, his daughter. He didn't mention them by name or anything. He just said he posted a GoFundMe to, you know, that he needed help with something. Like he was very vague about it, but he didn't mention his family or anything. So that's a little bit of a reach for Gunplay to go, oh, you're talking about my family. But in the sense that you're talking about this GoFundMe, if anybody goes to look into what the GoFundMe is for, right? Then you see how like that can kind of snowball, right? Just because you didn't say their name or give them their information or anything like that, right? When people are gonna, if people are looking up the beef or what's going on with, Envy and Rick Ross, and they go, oh, what's this GoFundMe for Gunplay about, right? Is he broke? Is he this? Is he that? Is he, what can he afford? So you're bringing somebody into it, right? Like, I don't have a problem if you know what you're doing, but you're bringing somebody into it. You don't know why they have a GoFundMe, right? You just bringing up random things to try to win an argument, right? So now he has every right to respond however he feels necessary to protect what's his. Because now people are probably looking into the GoFundMe. They thinking, oh, Gunplay's broke. I don't know his financial status, right? But if you're looking for a GoFundMe, you might not be happy. You ain't got it right now, obviously. So now you got him questioning it. He's dealing with what he's dealing with at home. His wife's probably like, yo, I'm getting calls about this, It just puts him in an awkward situation. Now he got to come back and check you because you were the one that brought it up, and you brought all this unwanted attention onto him, right? Like, that's not what he wanted that GoFundMe to be for. It's not supposed to be some political jab or some jab that you're supposed to be able to use to throw at Rick Ross, right? Like, if you're supposed to be my homie, then why are you using that? But like I said, you just can't start saying things, you got to think about what you're saying sometimes.
Which, play the call again, where you can hear me play it again. I never mentioned his wife or daughter at all. It was talk about boss and all the boss moves you did. We reported a story 3 weeks ago about your guy. Your guy. Gunplay is my brother. He has the Mac in the back of the 7 Series, and that's my brother. We reported a story that...
You hear that again? That's Charlemagne saying, you're going too far. There's some people who just understand, like, Charlemagne's one of those people who, this is what he does. Like, his thing was to poke people and to, like, kind of essentially, like, if you were back in school, like, try to, joan on them and diss them and try to, like, get under their skin. So he understands, like, you're playing a dangerous game. Like, you can just start saying things, and then you don't know who's going to want to attack you or beat you down or try to get his, So you got to be careful.
Gunplay, shout out to Gunplay, friend of the room. We reported a story that he had to, put a GoFundMe up because he was having some problems. If that's your brother, you take care of your brother. At any point, did you hear me mention his wife or his child?
No, and I was here.
Charlemagne,
No.
did you
No, I didn't
mention
hear
his
it.
wife or child?
No,
But
but to be fair,
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. So I didn't mention his wife or child,
Right.
and I didn't put the information about his GoFundMe. He did. That I didn't let that cat out the bag. He talked about it. It was something that was a story that was reported.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk about any of that. And when Gunplay called me, because he's a friend to the room, and he was upset at first. You could tell he was upset at first. So I'm like, he's a friend, you know, like speaking to any friend that's upset. So I let him go. I let him vent. And then we had a discussion. I said, if your wife was offended, that wasn't my intent.
And you apologize.
And I said, that's not my intent. I apologize.
Which
you know,
men should do.
The right thing to do.
Room and you felt the way, we can have a discussion.
Right. The one thing I will say is Envy did the right thing. The moment he saw that Gunplay was upset, he was like, oh man, I didn't, if that's how you took it, then I did not mean, you know, like, because he did say it as an offhand comment, right? But he didn't understand how deep, and the thing is, you don't know what people are going through, like, and that's the thing that I always want to get across to people. You don't know what people's day is going through, like, you don't know what their day is like. You don't know what they're going through in their life that they're not sharing with everybody, right? They might have shared the GoFundMe, but they didn't share what it was for, because it was something that they needed the money, but they didn't want to put that out there and, you know, get you to. So you're dealing with a lot of people with pride. You're dealing with people's pride. And when you're doing stuff like this, you've got to be careful. But I do appreciate that DJ Envy was able to be like, yo, I messed up. That wasn't cool. I apologize if I offended your wife or your, you know, that's the right thing to do. If you've wronged somebody, apologize quickly and earnestly and move on, right? And if they can't forgive you, give them the space and the opportunity to forgive you. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And hopefully your actions in the future prove otherwise.
Now the thing is, he ended the call there. Charlamagne, how long did we talk on the phone after?
We talked for about 10 minutes after, and you know.
And how was that? How was the conversation?
The conversation was very, very cordial.
We were talking about families. We were talking about how we first started.
Talking about how to squash this issue between you and Ross.
And even how Gunplay, you know, even though he's had his beefs and problems in the industry, he still was a friend to the room. He would come up and he would do all these things on the show. We laughed, we joked. We got off the phone positive.
Yeah.
Got off the phone positive.
But two things we should add to that. The GoFundMe was in reference to an issue that his daughter was going.
But I didn't mention. I just mentioned that he had a GoFundMe. That's all I mentioned.
And number two, I think Gunplay was expecting a public apology, but you weren't here.
Exactly. Yesterday, where were we?
We was off for Memorial.
We were off, and last week you were in Aruba last week. And DR, so we weren't on air. And we were gonna bring it back up and have this discussion because you know what I thought it was.
I even said that last week though. I said Envy's not here. Remember, me and you were here, Jess, and I said Envy's not here. But you know, when he comes back, he can talk about this situation with Gunplay.
But I thought it was dope because I thought it was two men having a problem, a disagreement, and handling it like men. And I was like, you don't see that. So the fact that we can have that discussion, I thought that was dope. But then when you record a phone call, and I just thought that was, that was.
Well, okay. In Gunplay's defense, you didn't communicate with him that you was about to be out for Memorial Weekend, right? So in his eyes, he's thinking, this dude said he was gonna apologize to me on air. He ain't even show up to work the next day. Okay, watch this, right? That's his only recourse. Because if you don't say anything, right, you can just go on living life, not saying anything, and nobody would have known that conversation would have happened, right? So I'm not going to say it's okay for him to record you, but I'm also saying you have to be able to put yourself in his position, right? In the sense that you didn't communicate anything. And that's one of those things that I tell people all the time. Nobody can read your mind. If you don't tell me or if you don't communicate to me in a way that helps me understand what you really want, then I can't do what you want. I can only read your mind or infer so much. I'm a human being. I'm not, I'm not Professor X. Like, I can't read your mind. So you got to tell me, hey, if I'm going to make the apology live, hey, I'm not going to even be in on Monday, but Tuesday, bro, we're going to talk about it. It's going to be like the first thing we bring up on the show, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all you had to do. But you didn't say that. You said, oh, you led him to believe that you would address the apology on live so that people could hear it because you made it publicly. But then you didn't do that. You didn't show up to work. So I'm just saying, like, from his perspective, just playing devil's advocate, it looks like you kind of flaked and finagled your way out of an apology.
It was chasing something else.
Yeah. And then, is he still doing Love and Hip Hop? Is he on Love and Hip Hop still?
Yes.
Okay. Because then that's probably the reason for him recording. I really honestly feel like, yes, he definitely could feel some type of way. He definitely has the right to feel some type of way because it's still bringing him into a situation that he had nothing to do with.
Exactly.
But it's just the recording. I just think it's just all egos and it's a lot.
So egos, and when you're dealing with people's family issues, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to see their wife crying.
But
Nobody
all
wants
of
to
that,
see
But
their
that's why
wife.
I said that wasn't my intention. And like I said, I didn't
Right.
mention his wife or his child. I never
Right.
even said what it was. I just said he put up a GoFundMe,
Right.
and I was talking about Ross helping his friends. That's where it came from. So it never went to him.
Exactly.
But another thing that people got to understand too, right? And this is a side note. It is against the law to record somebody's phone conversation.
Oh my God!
And not
If you
tell
don't
them.
get out
That
of
is
here with
against the
this
law.
lame
I
ass
can't
shit.
stand it. I don't know why people do
Now,
that.
and I want people to understand, right? Florida is where this happened.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, it's illegal, but God damn it, don't be this lame. Like, it's illegal to record somebody's call. I'm like, shut up.
Right? Under Florida
A hall
statute
monitor over
93403, secretly audio recording of another
You better be
individual
joking.
is a third-degree felony offense, punishable up to 5 years in prison and a fine.
So you gonna snitch?
That is a fine.
So you gonna snitch?
So now, district attorneys from Florida have been calling me like crazy because you're not allowed to tape somebody's phone
Yeah.
call
So you
and
gonna
put it out.
snitch?
Yeah.
Like
You gonna snitch?
That's crazy.
You gotta be smart.
You gonna
about it.
snitch?
I agree. People
And
gotta be
think,
smarter.
and I think it's so whack to record somebody's phone call, especially when you have a conversation
Yeah.
like a man. And I think men need to do men things. And I think recording somebody's conversation and not telling
So
them.
men need to do men things like snitch because somebody recorded them. That's what men do. We just snitch. You just go, oh, he recorded me. So come on, bro. This is the problem. Is that you go to these kind of ridiculous means and resort to these kind of things to try to prove your point.
And then putting it out, that's not a man thing.
I agree with that, but at this moment, the man thing to do is to just give a
Apologies.
public apology.
Yes, apologize.
If she felt offended.
Didn't I just say it? I said if,
No, you didn't.
if she felt away,
No,
I
you need to-
apologize.
you
I
need
said
to
that.
sit
Like, I'm not
down
gonna
and-
over apologize. That wasn't my
Oh
intention.
no, you
That's
said it
not
on the
what I
call.
did.
I'm just saying they
That's
said
what
they
it was.
wanted publicly. So.
That's what it was. You know what I mean? It was what it was.
Yeah, that's all.
Yo, I didn't
You
know
can't
that
have the
you
fresh
can,
matte black paint job.
Yeah.
Look. This look on his face. He's not really apologizing. He's just like, he's very, very kind of defiant about it. He's like, I'm not gonna over apologize. You haven't really apologized, really. Like, what he wanted was for you to go, hey, the same vitriol in which you said the first thing, where you got everybody's attention, where everybody was quiet in the studio when you was letting yours off, right? You should say the apology with at least that same amount of energy, right? Not, if I hurt her, I apologize. That's how it is. Bro, that's disrespectful. And if somebody did that to you, DJ Envy, you would be so sensitive. You would be so mad. You would take that so personally, right? If somebody fake apologized to you, like you're kind of doing right now, like that's kind of messed up. So I hope you fix this. I hope you check yourself. Because Gunplay's gonna have to do it again, and you don't want Rick Ross coming back, so you might have to get your big homies to squash it again.
Yeah.
And not,
I didn't know
now's
that
the
you
time.
can get
Look
arrested
at
for
his
recording
defiant
somebody's
face.
conversation. I gotta take Moniece to court then.
Who was Moniece?
Another Love and Hip Hop reality
Y'all are just
star.
so
Yeah, I
messy.
didn't know
Why
she
you
was
wanna be so
recording me.
messy?
Yo, she was recording me.
But
I
it
was
depends.
talking
It
about
depends
somebody.
it depends in what state. So if
Oh,
you're on
God, this was in
probation,
LA.
or if you're something like, it depends. Every state is different. So if you're on probation and you do that, that could be a felony
This
charge.
dude
You can
real-
go back to
this
jail for
dude-
probation.
Envious. This is the most. Come on, bro. It depends on state to state, and if I can get him for come on, man, come on, bro. Like, nothing makes you look lamer and more weak than trying to snitch on this dude right now.
You can also be sued civilly, and you have to pay a fine.
It is
But
amazing.
this is the way you got to play with people now, because
Yeah.
people don't respect boundaries.
Yeah.
And they don't respect the fact that you can have a conversation like that.
Wait. So, is it weird and ironic that he just said people don't have boundaries when you didn't have enough boundaries to respect this man enough to not bring his GoFundMe where he's trying to take care of his sick child, right? Like you didn't respect that boundary, but you want him to respect your boundaries. Like you see how that is a double standard. You see how the math doesn't add up. You see how the kids say the math ain't mathin', right? Like, did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said? Listen to this.
Who was Moniz?
Another Love and Hip Hop reality.
So if you're on probation or if you're something. So if you're on probation or if you're something like, it depends. Every state is different. So if you're on probation and you do that, that could be a felony charge and you can go back to jail for probation. You can also be sued civilly and you have to pay a fine. But this is the way you got to play with people now because people don't respect boundaries.
Yeah.
He just said people don't respect boundaries. Flabbergasted. Shocked. Utterly shocked that he would even make such a statement.
And they don't respect the fact that you can have a conversation like a man with people.
Right, because if I'm talking about somebody to you, Moniz, why you going to play it on live, yo? I mean, we cool now, but I got to take it to court now that I know that can happen.
Why y'all so messy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why?
The Little Mermaid made over $100 million at the U.S. box office.
Don't bring my cousin into this messy
segment.
segment.
Now she's your cousin because you only got Chloe.
You always talk about Chloe.
All right, that's it for them. But yeah, I just think that these guys are so messy sometimes. Like, bro, you started it. You brought this guys, into the situation, and then he checks you, and then you're like, people have no boundaries. After you drug him into a situation in which he was just minding his business, sitting at home trying to take care of his family, and you have the nerve to go and be like, how dare these people without boundaries attack me and accost me? How dare he? Bro, reflection. Like, look in the mirror just a little bit. Just reflect just a little bit. Like, I know it's hard, right? I know it's hard to really, like, be introspective. But sometimes it's okay to look inside. People like DJ Envy have a problem. They can't see the things that they do, but they see wrong in others all the time. If you can't be real with yourself, if you can't be like, yo, that was kind of messed up, that was kind of, and give a real apology, then come on, bro. You can't demand it from everybody else because you seem to demand a lot of respect from everybody. You demand this, you beating your chest every time something happens, but another man checks you and is like, yo, this what you did, da-da-da-da. Oh, I don't want to over-apologize. You didn't really apologize once. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong? What do you guys think of DJ Envy's fake apology? I'll definitely do a follow-up if this goes on again. But once again, it's your boy Ty. Contentious conversation. And I'm out.